Well, I remember the first days and weeks at the Benevolent Society Post-Adoption Resource Centre. It was frantic. It was the most enormous number of phone calls as finally this legislation that people had been waiting for was enacted. We were very excited about this legislation in terms of the rights that it was giving to people, treating people with some respect about, the possibilities to make decisions.
Absolutely.
About their life.
Yes, for those people who'd had no choices whatsoever to be in a situation where they could potentially attempt to make contact with people that they'd been separated from was enormous.
The service that the Post-Adoption Resource Centre provided and the workers, all the workers, whether in the Post-Adoption Resource Centre or in other agencies and support agencies, was just of such a high standard and calibre, and the professionalism and the sensitivity in which they dealt with the issues, and very personal issues as well.
We're both mothers who have lost a child to adoption, and it's been a very vital resource. It's a roller coaster ride, and to have that understanding support behind you of the services that are offered has been wonderful.
It's been so meaningful, very meaningful. And from my perspective, it's also given me a voice, which I didn't have before.
Before I came to the Post-Adoption Resource Centre, I was feeling angry, I was feeling confused, I was feeling very sad. Deep down, and just like a holding pattern, like nothing was moving forward, nothing was going back. I was just stuck. And it was just time to have someone to speak to. So I rang up and I basically said on the phone that I feel like I'm in cruise control, I can't get my mind out of survival gear and I really need help, can you help me? And they rang me back 2 weeks later and said, here's your appointment. And I was like, wow, this is great.
I think if I hadn't have been given the opportunity to go to the Post-Adoption Resource Centre, at very least I would be highly medicated today. I know that I probably may not have been employable. I think mental health issues may have grown.
It's such a long-term thing for so many people. Adoptions were still happening right into the 80s. You can't predict when you're going to hit that speed bump in your life. And you can't predict when another part of that journey as an adopted soul could require more assistance.
When I told my girls I was going to parenting workshops, I remember this kind of quizzical look because I think they thought, oh my God, she doesn't know how to do it. She's going to school to learn to be a parent. But what was really nice is I came back and reflected and talked about what I learnt. So I think possibly, in the long run they might reflect on that as they begin to parent, that it isn't something that you're born with and it's useful to learn more.
And clearly it's a vulnerable position to start from saying to go to parenting workshop because there's a sense of shame, guilt, and adoptive parents often carry shame and guilt and for no reason, because I believe we are good parents and we spend a lot of time, sometimes more than other parents, thinking about the well-being of our children, physical, mental, everything.
The Benevolent Society Post-Adoption Resource Centre is still carrying on the work that I guess we were really privileged to be a part of back then. The groups, the research, the counselling, and of course now there are so many more services offered.
One of the things the Post-Adoption Resource Centre provided in particular was a really safe environment, an environment where you were listened to rather than told how you should be feeling. And that was new to me because even in my childhood it was always everybody said, oh, so you must be grateful somebody took you in, or don't you feel great for having been saved? And they weren't necessarily the feelings I was feeling.
Post-Adoption Resource Centre sort of helped me unpack my issues and then gave me skills with how to deal with those along the way as I needed them.
And I feel as though ongoing management and keeping it as something that I can talk about in a comfortable way is healthy, and that keeps me healthy. And so having a resource that helps to keep me healthy has been fantastic.
Yes.
There's a wonderful sense of someone's got your back because post-adoptive resource centre is always there, and that's wonderful. You may never ever need to go back, but you know if you need to, it's there.